Hello everybody and welcome. I am coming on tonight to do an impromptu Facebook and Instagram live. I am coming on. It's very impromptu. I didn't announce it, so welcome if you are joining me. If you can on Facebook, I can see some people are joining on Instagram. On Facebook, if you're joining now, go ahead and post below. I'd love to see some of your, oops, I don't know what I just did there. I'd love to see some of your comments, and if you are getting the feed, I'm not sure why, but my feed is not going through. So hopefully you guys can see me. And hello everybody on Instagram, welcome. This is the day of the big full moon. We're going to be talking about the full moon. I'm trying to get some of these comments here below. If anybody can comment on Facebook, that would be smashing. It would just be wonderful, so I can tell what's going on here. I don't know why my camera is doing this. Hello everybody on Instagram. You guys are wonderful. Welcome, welcome. We're going to be talking about the big full moon, but also there's a lot going on in this next week in astrology. I mean, a lot is going on in astrology. So I want to cover that. But for some reason, I'm not seeing any comments yet on Facebook. So if you guys can comment, yay, Corbin commented. Welcome, Corbin. I haven't seen you in a while because I haven't been on Facebook Live. For some reason, my light here is really bright on Facebook. So whoop. Now I'm dropping things. So welcome everybody. We're talking about the big full moon tonight. Yay! Jill is joining here. Melinda and Molly. Oh, this is wonderful. Great. All right. Hopefully the lighting is a little better. I don't know. It's doing something wonky, but we're just going to go ahead and start. So we have a lot to talk about in this week in astrology. And I'm starting with today on the full moon. I know it's weird to start on the full moon, and it's weird to probably start on a Wednesday, but we really, I need to talk to you all because there's going to be a lot of energy in this week. Oh my gosh, I can't even, it's just so much. So I'm going to try to really condense it down and sort of make sense. But I would say this might be one of the most difficult weeks out of this summer. Now, this particular full moon wasn't very difficult, actually. The full moon, the super moon in Capricorn, that wasn't as difficult as some of this other energy that we have coming up. Hello, Sarah. Welcome. Corbin said it's my inner light that's shining. Yeah, the light's doing something strange. I have no idea what it's doing. It was fine when I set up my camera, so I'm not sure. But we're having sunset here, so I don't know. Maybe it's maybe I should stop moving and it'll it'll come into focus. But we have the full moon, super moon that took place today on July 13th. Today, at the time of the broadcast, 2022. And that was at 21 degrees Capricorn. So if you are a Capricorn or a Cancer, you are going to be at ground zero of this particular full moon, super moon in Capricorn. It's the full buck moon. And there was just so much energy today, but it wasn't all entirely contentious. You know, sometimes these full moons have like a lot of other additional energies that kind of make it a very contentious full moon. This particular full moon was just a little lighter, but there's a catch. The energy after this full moon starts to get sort of progressively heavier until we get to Monday and Tuesday, July 18th and July 19th are going to be very difficult and potentially very contentious. So I'm giving you the heads up, not to be negative Nelly or anything like that, but how you can prepare for this type of energy without spiraling or spinning and getting caught up in it, you know, unconsciously or subconsciously. Because what usually happens is, you know, people push our buttons during that time, or we'll be feeling a little edgier, a little bit more argumentative. And so that's basically something that we have to kind of watch out for, because obviously, you know, you want to stay out of the hot topics and hot water and all that stuff. I'm trying to move my light. I don't know why my light is doing this. It looks like I'm glowing on Facebook, so I'm not sure. It's just doing its thing. So anyway, so when we look at the full moon from today, the 21st, in Capricorn, 2:38 p.m. Eastern time was the very height of it. That was the full moon this afternoon, but it doesn't matter. We're still in the full moon energy for sure. We can definitely still feel it. Now, of course, this is the time when you want to burn or destroy your manifestation list. If you had a manifestation list from this last new moon that we had, this is the time to burn or destroy it, or burn or destroy old love letters, or purge, different things. Because remember, the full moon is about releasing, letting go. It's the harvest. It's the completion of a cycle. We're wrapping up a cycle. And in fact, this cycle began back at the new year on January 2nd, 2022. I don't know if you guys remember that broadcast. I was all excited because it was the new moon and new year. So I was saying it was like the perfect time to manifest our dreams, hopes, desires, and goals. Now that particular new moon on January 2nd was a super moon also. It was a super new moon. Now this is a super full moon. So what does that mean? It's closer to the earth. Even new moons, we can't see them. They don't get as much hot press because they're not so big in the sky that you can see it and all this fun stuff with full moons like it is tonight. If it's going to be clear wherever you live, you can go outside and it'll be really big and really beautiful. That's because the moon and its orbit is closest to the earth right now. So, but the new moons, super new moons, have a lot of powerful punch energetically, even though we can't see these new moons because it's dark in the sky on the night of the new moon. So we had a new moon January 2nd at 12 degrees Capricorn, and that kicked off the cycle. And now we're completing the cycle at 21 degrees Capricorn, super full moon, and that's basically how it works. It's a 6-month cycle. Every time we have a new moon, it starts off a new 6-month cycle. So where's Capricorn in your chart in order to know how this will affect you on a personal level, meaning what house is Capricorn in for your chart? How do you get along with Capricorns? Are you actually a Capricorn, or are you an earth sign, Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn? If you're a cardinal sign, this could have also been very powerful for you. So Cancer, Capricorns are both cardinal signs, as well as Aries and Libra. If you have any of that energy in your chart, this will definitely affect you as well. Cardinal signs are the leaders, so sometimes it can be too many chefs in the kitchen, is what the old-fashioned saying is, because everybody's the boss, #boss, Cancer is the leader or the boss of all the water signs, and Capricorn is the leader or the boss of all of the earth signs. Now, why am I talking about Cancer so much if the full moon is a Capricorn? Well, it's because the sun and the moon are opposing each other in those signs. So the sun is in Cancer and the moon is in Capricorn, and that's what always happens during full moons, is there's an opposition between those two planets, and that's what basically causes the full moon and the brightness of the light. It's reflecting the light of the sun. But energetically, what's going on with Capricorn in your chart, and that's how you'll know. Now, we also had Venus was trine Saturn today. The ruler of Capricorn is Saturn, so there's that involvement. And also Mercury was sextile Uranus today. And oh boy, those two can be very lively, very sometimes a little bit anxious, sometimes a little bit nervous. Mercury and Uranus can be a little bit lively, a little bit hyperactive. So if you have kiddos or pets out there, sometimes that can sort of liven things up and make it, feel a little extra. Melinda said she's a Capricorn with a moon in Cancer, so you were born during the full moon, Melinda. That's what that means. And so this will be right up in your stuff, your Capricorn Cancer. So you're right at ground zero on this particular full moon. So remember, full moons are endings, completions. We're wrapping up a cycle. We're finishing up something. If you're looking at the analogy of the moon cycle and tomato plants, it's like on the full moon, you pick the tomatoes. Hey, Sorry, my pet was making a noise. You pick the tomatoes and you harvest them, and that's what the full moon is about. Now, when you're finishing something, wrapping something up, something's ending, something's coming to a completion, all that good stuff. That's basically what the deal is with this cycle. So you know, where's Capricorn, and you'll know. And if there's anything that you're experiencing right now with wrapping up, or you can get rid of something, purge something, eliminate something. So from the full moon to the new moon, that's what we're doing. We're eliminating things. We're letting go of things. So clutter, toxic people, toxic relationships, get rid of debt. You know, anything you want to purge or get rid of is a great time to release during the full moon. And that's why I always say burn or destroy your list. You know, it just kind of dissipates it and allows it to go out into the universe and sort of, you know, it's like a ceremony. But you don't have to burn it. You could shred it. You could, you know, just get rid of it in some way. Rip it up into a million pieces. Sometimes that can be very, very cathartic and interesting and fun. So yeah, so that happened today. We also had Ceres was very active today. Ceres and Chiron too, and these are planetoids and asteroids. Again, not as powerful, but definitely there's a healing component down. You know, Chiron's something that needs to be healed that might have been brought up during this full moon for you. Ceres is the great mother, so mothering, nurturing, caretaking our children, our pets, our plants, you know, whatever it is we nurture and caretake, ourselves, hopefully ourselves. And so that has all been active. So we had so much energy today. It was like a big download of energy. So I don't know about you guys. Last night I could not sleep. I did not get much sleep last night at all for me. I was up, I was tossing and turning and whatever. And that's very common during the full moon, is to not sleep very well. Now that the full moon's over, hopefully we can get back to some rest and some comfort and all that good stuff. So that's going on today, but it keeps going. So I'm going to talk about a lot of stuff, and we're going to be going on. Rosalie, hey, thank you. She said she loves my hair. Capricorn in Vermont. Yes, welcome. And if you're just joining, go ahead and post your astrological sign. I love to hear all the signs. I like to know who's tuning in, and also where you're tuning in from as far as your area. So anyway, getting back to this, and by the way, I'm going to be cross-posting this on YouTube as well. So if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, please do like and share, like and share, like and share, because it helps the algorithm and it helps, you know, get the message out there. And yeah, so that's all good stuff. So moving through the rest of the week, we have a lot of quincunxes, and we have Neptune very active. Now, what does quincunx mean? What does Neptune mean? Well, I'm going to tell you. And then we're going to talk even more about some planets are shifting signs. Planets are even moving in signs. So whenever there's this much activity, it means there's a lot of stuff. It's like you know, making a soup with like 45 ingredients. It's like, it's all this turmoil. So some of it can be good and some of it maybe not, but it's just a lot. So if you're an HSP, a highly sensitive person, if you're somebody who feels a lot of energy, if you're a sensitive person to energy, when these times happen like this, it just means there's going to be a lot more stuff, and we're going to have to process a lot of things. That's what this means. Ashley Jean, yay, welcome. Virgo Sun, Libra Moon, Leo Rising. Yeah, so your Libra Moon is in a cardinal sign, Ashley, and that's gonna affect you. Corbin, you're still Scorpio. Yes, you are, my dear. Okay, so quincunxes in astrology, if you've heard me talk about trines and squares and oppositions and quincunxes, some astrologers don't use, but I do, because I have definitely seen quincunxes cause stuff like turbulence. Quincunxes mean that there's nothing the two signs have in common, okay? They're not the same modality. They're not the same element. They're not, and it's like two turtles walking through a room. They're not even interacting. They're just kind of like, you know, there's a lot of quincunxes coming. And because of that, that can actually cause obstacles, blockages, delays. So that's coming specifically on Friday and Saturday. These quincunxes, we're going to have 3 in a 24-hour period. That's a lot. That means that nobody's on the same page. So, for example, one of the quincunxes, I won't break them all down because it's just too much, but I'll just give you an example really quickly. One of the quincunxes, say that 10 times really fast, is on Saturday, July 16th, between the Sun and Saturn. The Sun is in Cancer, a water sign, emotional, sensitive, and then Saturn is retrograde also, and is in Aquarius. Cancer and Aquarius don't have much in common. And you might say, but I'm married to a Cancer, I'm married to an Aquarius. Okay, I hear you. But you might have your moon in Cancer, or you might have your moon in Aquarius, which helps to make that connection. But naturally, if those two were at a party, they wouldn't be hanging out. Like Cancer would probably be barbecuing, and Aquarius would be making, like, I don't know, protesting signs or something to be an activist. You know, those two are just different signs. So what does that mean when the Sun quincunxes Saturn? It means Saturn wants to give us, you know, discipline and all the stuff, and Cancer's like, you know, wants to go, like I said, make a good meal and snuggle with somebody and all that. They're just not getting along. And so when there's 3 in a 24-hour period from Friday the 15th July into the 16th of July, that's just a lot of blockages, obstacles, and we have to work extra hard to get along with those that are in our lives, or maybe with situations like, it's almost like if a Republican and a liberal and a Democrat and everybody were at a party, what would they talk about? You know, maybe the weather, okay? Like, you got to find your common ground with all of these players that are happening, and that can translate into our lives on a personal level. We might feel a little bit out of the groove and a little bit like, I don't know why, but the energy kind of feels strange or off or different, or, you know, so that's coming. Okay, so on Thursday, the 14th, and then Saturday or Sunday, the 17th of July, we have 3 things with Neptune. So tomorrow on Thursday, we have Venus is going to form a square with Neptune. And then on Sunday, we have Mercury is going to form a trine with Neptune, and the Sun's going to form a trine with Neptune. Neptune's confusion, illusion. It can be hoaxes. It can be somebody that's not being honest, somebody that's not being forthright, some situation where, like, you got to look beneath the surface to really see what's going on. Neptune's involved, and whenever Neptune's involved, it feels a little wonky. Okay, so there's that. So it's, you know, we have this energy kind of in the background of this confusion. Now, in its most positive way, Neptune is very creative, and that's good for if you work in a field that's creative, like if you're a painter, or you're a musician, or you're a writer, or you do something, even arts and crafts and different types of projects. That's all very Neptunian. Not super great for, like, hardcore business, you know, like if you have to be really linear and really fact oriented and really, like, you know, all that stuff. That's not as good. All that Neptune is not as good for that particular, you know, type of work or type of being. So yeah. So anyway, that's kind of going on in addition to all this other stuff. So Thursday and Sunday, we have a lot of Neptune, and all of this is going to be active all at once. So we have the obstacles and the blockages. We have the intensity from the full moon. Now we have this confusion stuff going on in the background. And then on Saturday also, I haven't even touched the surface yet. There's a lot of energy coming up in this week. The Sun is going to form a conjunction with Mercury. Now that's actually good, and it is going to be in the sign of Cancer, so that's good, especially if you're a Cancer, on Saturday. The height of it, the peak of it, is going to be 3:38 p.m. Eastern time, so earlier than that. 12:38 p.m. if you're out on the West Coast is the peak of it. That thing is gonna, so again, we have to build the layers, and it's all complicated, so we're going to build layers. The layer of this, the sun forming a conjunction with Mercury, is all about talking, speaking, orating. So if you have to give a sales presentation, if you have to, do a Facebook Live or an Instagram Live, if you have to do some kind of thing where you're teaching or conveying ideas or talking to people about your ideas, this is a great time to do that. And that's, again, going to peak. So we're going to feel it. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Saturday's the peak of it. Then Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, it comes down. I call it coming down off the mountain on the other side of it. So we have to remember and keep in mind, these things don't happen in a short sort of way. The quincunxes, luckily, are shorter in duration, but the sun conjunct Mercury is not. So that's going to be ongoing, and that's going to be a thing over the weekend. So just be careful. See how this could really get a little mucky, because now we're talking, and there's all this confusion going on, and possibility of misunderstanding. I almost feel like people have to do it in bullet points, like kind of stick to the point of it, because the more we talk, the more confusing things get, and that's not going to be good. So yeah, we'll want to. This is a good time to catch up on correspondence. Like if you're shy, that's good to use. Or if you need to catch up on, I don't know, emailing or texting, that's always a good thing. But if you're just sitting there chatting away, or you're trying to solve problems with your partner, or you're trying to talk through situations, this is not the time to do that. Especially if you need to, like, I don't know, get back together with a friend, or get together, you're trying to talk about problems. This is not, it's more lighthearted. Just, stay out of the weeds, because this is the other thing that's going on, is Monday and Tuesday. So Monday the 18th, Tuesday the 19th, July, the Mercury on Monday is going to oppose Pluto, and then the sun is going to oppose Pluto on Tuesday. And this full moon is technically very close to Pluto. So Pluto is 27 degrees Capricorn right now. This full moon, I just said, was 21 degrees Capricorn. They're very close together. 21 and 27 are very close together, okay? The rule of thumb in astrology, by the way, is a conjunction is 10 degrees or less. So this is definitely less than 10 degrees. So I'm sorry to say this, but this is going to be a lot of energy. And unfortunately, when there's ever this much Pluto energy going on, which today is some Pluto energy, and most certainly Monday and Tuesday is the peak of the Pluto energy, is that over the weekend, unfortunately, and I'm sorry to say this, but there's usually shootings, mass shootings around Pluto transits. There almost always is, whether it's a school shooting, whether it's the Las Vegas shooting, whether it's a parade shooting. It just seems to be just so crazy. But there's definitely a rise in violence and a rise in contention, and just people get wonky on these Pluto things. They go out and they get ragey. So when we're talking about Monday and Tuesday, and even over the weekend, getting it, remember the peak of it's Monday and Tuesday. So we're feeling that as another layer, this ragey kind of layer. Now Pluto is transformation. It's Phoenix rising. It's death, it's rebirth. Okay, so I mean, we just saw something that was a death, and we haven't seen the rebirth part yet, but I have so much to say to you guys, because I've been missing you. I haven't been on, but the Roe versus Wade thing, when I pulled up the chart for Roe versus Wade, the sun is 27 degrees Capricorn, so of Roe versus Wade in the chart. So Pluto's going over that right now. Pluto kind of just killed it. I mean, like, obviously other things killed it. We'll just say that. But that was part of what happened. It was an ending. I knew as soon as I saw that chart, I was like, oh, that's not good, you know. So Pluto can be rough, you know. I mean, can be pretty harsh. So how do we stay grounded in all of this? Actually, Jean said she'd love to see that chart. I'll do another live. I'm sorry I've been absent from doing my lives. Another thing that Pluto killed was the deal for Twitter from Elon Musk. Pluto kind of killed that too. just to let you know what Pluto's doing. Yeah, I would love to do a video on those charts. But yeah, so Pluto, you know, I don't mean it that has to be literal, but I just know from doing these videos for so long, from being an astrologer so long, that when Pluto's active, things happen, and you'll hear stuff on the news and whatever. So be cautious when you're going out, and also not living in fear, because I never ever advise living in fear. But what I do say is just be cautious, and when you know that there's all this stuff going on, it's time to kind of go internal. It's time to go inside. It's time to just be more meditative, more contemplative, work on grounding. This is not the time to have these like crazy, you know, debates and conversations and stuff, because people, I always say it's like the three-legged table syndrome. You know, if there's a table that has 3 legs, and if it's missing one leg, it means that it can fall over during these times, because if any little extra weight you put on the 3-legged table, it'll go over. So if somebody is already struggling with mental illness, if somebody's already struggling with addiction, if somebody's already struggling with you know, this energy, all this extra energy can put a strain. So if you know somebody that you love and that's teetering at all, like a 3-legged table, check in with them, ask them questions. Hey, how you doing? Just thinking of you, you know, sorry I was busy, and reach out, you know, because remember, we have this talking energy active, but it's also confusing, obstacles and blockages, and intense all at once. So it's a lot. And then in addition to this energy, which this additional energy is not bad energy at all, by the way. There's 2 planets on the move. 2 planets are shifting. And even though it's not a bad thing, it's additional stress or pressure on the already, it's almost like, I don't know, visualize like downtown Manhattan, and you got like cars and people, you know, crossing the road and doing all kinds of different things. And oh my gosh, there is a weird thing going on right now on my Instagram. I don't even know what is happening. Are you guys on Instagram seeing this? It's like I don't know if it's my phone or if it's actually my camera or what it is. But anyway, there's like a black smudge going over my face, which is very Pluto oriented, by the way. It makes me look like I have like a Halloween mask on or something. Anyway, so you guys can see it. It's so weird. This is so Pluto though. I mean, it's kind of crazy. So anyway, when we get back to the planets that are on the move here, we have Venus moving into Cancer, and that's going to be coming between July 17th. So that's going to happen on Sunday. And that's going to be 9:32 p.m. Eastern time. And that's going to happen from July 17th to August 11th. And then the next day, or the 2 days after, on the 19th, I know something's going on with my lighting. I'm not sure what's happening. On the 19th, Mercury is going to end up going into Leo. Okay, so basically, such a weird thing. I have no idea what's going on. People on Instagram are laughing right now because like there is this like weird black thing that's going across my face on the camera. It makes me look like a Halloween costume. Anyway, so Mercury's going into Leo. What does this mean? So Venus in Cancer, Venus is always in each sign roughly a month. So July 17th to August 11th. Venus in Cancer. And that, what does that mean? That's our love life. Venus is our love life. It's how we love. And with Venus being in Cancer, that's being more nurturing, more caretaking, more, I'm sorry if you're just joining on Instagram. I swear this is like a weird thing. I don't know why it's doing this. Venus in Cancer is more nurturing, caretaking, almost motherly. So you gotta watch that. Okay, because nobody wants to date their mom. That's creepy and weird. We don't want to date our mom. Ugh. So Venus in Cancer, though, it's like almost like you want to take care of your partner. You want to cook them a warm meal, and grill or some kind of thing, or you want to nurture them in some way. Will be very sentimental during Venus in Cancer, and because the sign of Cancer, we're in Cancer season right now as far as astrological, our seasons. Cancer season right now is all about that. It's all about nurturing and caretaking and loving and, all that kind of stuff. So it's a very sort of nostalgic, sentimental, and sensitive time. I know everybody's like, what is going on? I have no idea. It's so strange. I don't even know how to stop this, so I don't know. I don't want to mess up the recording. But that's good. That's a good thing. It depends on where Cancer is in your astrological chart in order to know how the Venus in Cancer will affect you. But we don't want to be too nurturing and too caretaking. Sometimes men and women both can confuse caring for another as love, like almost like sympathy for another, or a little bit codependence. We don't want to do that. We don't want to confuse that, because that can cause problems, and that's not a good type of thing. But love is close to home with Venus in Cancer. We have love close to home. So think parties and events and different things that places if you're single and you're looking to mingle. Venus in Cancer for sure is great for decorating the home. I can't believe this is happening. Venus in Cancer is great for decorating the home, and I think that that's a cool thing. So yeah, I don't know. It's just something that is fun. Then in addition to all of that energy, then we have Mercury going into Leo, and Mercury is how we express ourselves. So we have Venus, which is how we love, our sensuality, our nurturing, how we want to love and how we want to be loved. That's Venus. Mercury is how we think, how we talk, and how we communicate. It's the brain. So it's almost like the brain and the heart are changing at the same time, and that can be a little wonky and confusing at first. So again, when we talk about this week going into next week, there's a lot of, it's just a lot of stuff. And when you're a sensitive person, and you might not even have to be very sensitive to feel this, it just feels like kind of disjointed and kind of like wonky. So now our heart and our mind are switching gears. Our heart is going into this water. Cancer's a water sign, very sentimental, very caring, very nurturing, caretaking, and Leo is fire. All right, so our brain function, our Mercury function, our talking and communicating function is going into a fire sign. That's going to be for roughly 2 weeks, July 19th, 2022, all the way until August 4th. And so we're going to have Mercury and Leo. Now, Leo is the lion, right? How do we communicate and talk when Mercury's in Leo? Rawr, it's like you can roar like a lion. I mean, some Leos I know have spectacular tempers. They can really pontificate when they need to kind of communicate. They can roar like a lion. They can also purr like a lion too. So if you're very nice to a Leo, they can purr like a lion. So Leo is a very over-the-top energy. A lot of creative, over-the-top, big personalities are Leos. Madonna, Whitney Houston, J-Lo, all very Leo-esque women. And so when we're talking and communicating big over-the-top personalities, Leo can be quite egotistical. Leo can, wants to shine like the sun, you know, be the center of attention, all that stuff. And so when Mercury goes into Leo, we'll really want to be heard and feel like and other people will want to be heard too. So that's a lot of Leo lions roaring, okay, at once. What's the key to all this is to listen, you know, ask questions. That's one of the biggest things, you know. How many times in conversation can you have somebody talk at you and they never ask you a question? Like, they don't say, how are you doing? Or what's going on with your life? Or enough about me, I want to hear about you. You know, most of the time when we communicate, we're communicating to be heard. And, you know, Leos, they tend to get louder and louder and louder. If they're not being heard, they will get loud, okay? So, so even a quiet Leo, I have seen quiet Leos. Both my grandparents, maternal grandparents were Leos, both the grandmom and grandfather. And my grandmother was the loud Leo, and then my grandfather was the quiet Leo. But even so, once they have something to say, even the quiet Leos will come out with some force. You know, it's a fire sign. So this is very good if you need to, you know, put on a presentation, give a speech, be a salesperson. All that stuff is that's really good, especially if you have shyness. But if you're a person that's naturally a little bold and a little extrovert and a little in other people's faces, this could be too much energy. I always tell Leos, when you think you have to do more, stop and do less. Because usually when Leos think they have to do more, they've already done a ton too much. So, because again, it's this big over-the-top energy is very associated with Leo. Yeah. So, speaking of Leo, so how we're thinking is big and over the top, very dramatic too. Leo is considered to be the sign of actors and actresses and performers. You know, it's like giving that big operatic performance. That's very Leo. But then Venus, our love life, I just told you guys, is going into Cancer, which is very quiet, more shy, more reserved. The symbol for Cancer is the crab. So it's like, stay away. And Leo is so extroverted. Again, this energy is a little wonky. You know, and with all the shifting, and some of it doesn't get along with other aspects of it. So when things shift, it feels weird. Anyway, even if there wasn't all this other stuff going on, when planets shift, it's always like, it's almost like when you go on vacation and you stay in a hotel room, and it's maybe perfectly lovely and a wonderful, but it might feel just a little wonky because you're in a new bed, in a new environment, and you're in a new, you know, space. It feels a little wonky. That's kind of the way it is when planets first shift signs. It's not bad. I mean, it might be a 5-star hotel, yay, but it still feels weird because it's not your home and you don't know where everything is, and it's not your little, you know, bubble. So that's how it is when planets shift signs. Now we are going to be coming up to Leo season pretty soon. We're going to be ending Cancer season on Friday the 22nd. And that's 7/22/2022, and the sun's going to shift into Leo on that day at 4:07 p.m. Eastern time. So what is that, 1:07 p.m. on the West Coast if you live out in California or West Coast. So yeah, and we're shifting into Leo season, but the first planet to do it is going to be Mercury next week on Tuesday. So, and that's going to happen, by the way, on Tuesday at 8:35 a.m. Eastern time. So in the morning on Friday, we'll have the shift of Mercury. Mercury is moving quite fast now. Just so that you guys know, I guess if there's a good, fun, bright spot in this, all of this, is that on Saturday, with this conjunction of the Sun and Mercury in Cancer, that is also called a new Mercury. So you know how there's a new moon where the Sun and the Moon are in the same astrological sign, and that's called a new moon? Well, the Sun and Mercury are now in the same astrological sign in Cancer, And Mercury is now moving ahead of the sun. So it's actually moving so quickly now that it actually is moving ahead of the sun. And that, when that happens, after Mercury retrograde is over and after like everything, Mercury is up and pumping and running at high speed, that's called a new Mercury. So that's going to be on Saturday, which, you know, kind of resets the button of our communication, our travel, all that crazy Mercury retrograde stuff is over, and that time frame is over. But what we do have is just more difficult people. Like you're going to see, you know, on the news, you'll see leaders are acting all wonky and they want to, you know, I don't know, invade this country, invade that country, do all kinds of things. You know, people get very dictatorial, very fanatic on Pluto stuff, and so that's all operating in the background during all of this. It's kind of a crazy mixture here. It's a really strange collaboration. So, but I just wanted to let you guys know. And then all of this ends. Okay, when is this ending, Gretchen? Oh my God! So all this crazy energy starts today, Wednesday on July 13th, and goes all the way through to next Wednesday on the 20th. And how this kind of wraps up is the fourth quarter lunar cycle takes place that morning in the sign of Aries. Now, the fourth quarter lunar cycle is otherwise known as the last quarter of the lunar cycle. That happens after the full moon. So if you guys remember, I call that the second chance full moon, and that's going to be coming. So if you forgot to burn or destroy your list and you're like, Gretchen, I'm watching this, you know, on the weekend and I missed it, the second chance to burn or destroy your list is actually the next week on Wednesday, and that's the last quarter lunar cycle, basically in Aries. Now that even can be just a little stressful sometimes, those quarter moons. It's 10:19 a.m. Eastern time, so 7:19 a.m. if you're on the West Coast. That can be a little bit stressful because quarter moons are always like a time of reevaluation. We're going to reevaluate. It's definitely not as stressful as a full moon, but it's almost like a mild, tiny little secondary full moon. So if that makes sense. And that's going to wrap it up. It's not to say that nothing is happening after that, because as you know with astrology, that is not the case ever. There's always planets doing something. But it definitely is a time where this week, Wednesday to Wednesday, is going to be a lot of energy. So I hope that helps you guys. If you guys have any questions for me about that or anything else, let me know. I'm going to actually answer a couple questions, and then I'm going to pull a card. What does everybody need to know from the universe, from our angels and our spirit guides and our guardians, because it's just so much energy. I can't say it enough. There really just is so much energy. So practicing your grounding, practicing, going outside, having your feet in the grass, being around people who are very loving, nurturing, all of that stuff is really going to be good for this, because and not to take things personally. Like if you don't hear back from somebody, you called them and they didn't return your call, and I don't know, maybe they're blowing me off, blah, blah. No, just they're in their own, everybody's going to kind of be in their own bubble of whatever all of this mixture of energy means to them. Okay, so you might be having a fine time and they might be struggling. And then all of a sudden you're like, wait, why did they not? I didn't hear from them, No, don't take it personal. None of this stuff, I would just cancel clear. I wouldn't take it personally. Just saying. So I'm waiting to see if anybody is asking any questions. I haven't seen anything. By the way, like and share, because that's how these posts generate good algorithm. And I think I cleared up all of the, oh God, I just said that and I kind of, I still have some glow here. So if anybody has any questions, I have my cards, and I was going to do, maybe people are still typing, I don't know. Sometimes there is a delay with the broadcast. I was going to answer, and if not, I'll just pull a card. I will just pull a card. What does everybody need to know about the full moon this week? What do we need to know? So Capricorns, Cancers, Pisces is Neptune. Let's see, Cancer, Capricorn, Pisces, Leo. All y'all are feeling that. You guys are all going to be in the middle of all this. You know, they're going to be in the heart or the ground of it. Okay, so Ashley wants to know, she's starting grad school. Congratulations. That's awesome. Let's see, what does the universe want you to know about starting grad school? What's the most important thing for Ashley Jean to know about starting grad school? Ooh, this is about your relationship. I don't know if you are in a partnership or a relationship, Ashley Jean, but if you are, it's going to be a balance act, okay, with your relationship, being in grad school, juggling all of that, because it's something that you're going to have to sort of reconcile. I know everybody's going to ask me, I can't answer everybody's sign, unfortunately. I had a couple people ask me about their signs, like how will this affect, you know, my sign. I can't do that right at this minute, because that's a lot. That's 12 signs to go through. And I don't want to have this broadcast be 4 hours long. All of a sudden now everything's, but I'm going to answer just a couple of quick questions here. Ashley Jean was talking about that. Ashley Jean, you said you were thinking about a close friend who died almost a year ago. It was that a love partner or have a relationship? Because this is relationship harmony. Like, this is about somebody being affected by you going to grad school, either being supportive or somebody that needs, you know, some kind of I don't know how to say it, like, you know, you two are going to have to kind of work things out. Okay, that was a love partner. I'm sorry for your loss. So it could be that he's saying hi in this, this loved one, that he's saying hi, that he was kind of thinking of you and trying to support you and would support your goals. But in some way, shape, or form, I feel like you know, that person has your back. You know, that you're going to have to just be open. I think there's going to be some hard times while you're in grad school. Like, I mean, because it's going to be hard, you know, like, but fulfilling. And I feel like as if this person that passed is trying to say hi and connect with you as far as that goes. So I hope that helps. But know that you have their assistance and their support behind the scenes. If you get into a new relationship during grad school, because also that could mean that you could meet a new person in grad school as well, know that that's also guided too by you know, I always say spirit is the best matchmaker. Spirit is wonderful. Like, a lot of times when people pass away, a spouse passes away, or boyfriend, girlfriend, whoever, a love interest, they will help you from the other side and they will find you a new partner. There's such a stigma in this culture, is like, if somebody passed away that you know, I'm not saying go out and start dating tomorrow. I'm not saying that. But there's such a stigma of like, you have to wait and you have to be like this martyr, and like, no, spirit wants you to be right back in with somebody, because they never want us to be feeling lonely. Spirit knows. We're all so connected on the other side. We're lonely on this side. We're lonely in the physical because spirit is interconnected on the other side. They feel everything, they see everything, they, you know. So I know, Kate, I'm sorry. I have no idea what is going on with my light, but I keep trying to fix it and it makes it worse. I have no idea, but it's our lovely Facebook and Instagram. I keep trying to, yeah. So anyway, sorry, Kate. Maybe this is a good one just to listen to instead of watch. All right, so I'm going to look at I'm going to be looking at Instagram here. 216J. I'm not sure who that is, but hello, welcome. You're looking to hire a caregiver for your daughter. In any insights on the right person? feel like this person's a replacement person for somebody else. Like maybe you had a caregiver already, and even if it was a relative or somebody who was unpaid, but there feels like there was another caregiver, not you, but like somebody else. Oh, hello. Okay, Jillian, welcome. I didn't know who you were on Instagram. I don't know. I almost feel like there was another one, or you had another person in mind or something, because this other caregiver, this new caregiver, feels like they are a change, okay, from what you were originally either had or you were thinking of having. There's a big change with this other caregiver. I would say this person, it's interesting, almost feels like a friend or becomes a friend or something, like you hang out with this person or like in some way or whatever. Definitely it feels like a good match as far as, I don't think you have to do anything. You are getting the card of patience, okay, to wait for the right person. I don't think you have to do anything different though to find this. I feel like this person kind of comes to you. You might put an ad out, but like the person answers the ad or something. Like, I don't feel like you have to really struggle to find somebody. It feels like you find somebody who almost feels like a friend in some way that you talk to and you relate to and you have fun with. So I hope that helps. It's so interesting because I'm on my two different screens here. The Facebook one is super bright and the one on Instagram is not. I don't know. It's the full moon. Maybe I should not do broadcasting in the full moon. Okay, so Sarah is relocating and wants to know about relocating. And I'm going to answer Sarah's question. Anyway, Jillian, I hope that helps. Keep me posted, but I do feel that you have somebody coming and it's going to be different. Either from the person you already have, like if you had to like let go of somebody or whatever, or if it was like a grandmom or somebody, or different in some way from it just feels very different night and day from how you were originally thinking. So be open. I guess that's the biggest thing, is be open to a new caregiver. Juliet said I'm glowing. Thank you. Yeah, it's so weird. I don't know what's happening. All right, Sarah, I'm going to ask just what angels need Sarah to know, and then I'm going to pull the one card for that's going to be like the general. What do we need to know? This general vibe from the angels. All right, so Sarah, what do we need to know? What does she need to know about her adventure, her new journey, her relocation, her gypsy lifestyle? Oh yeah, girl. There you go. Passion. Do what you love what you do. Do what you love what you do. Archangel Hanael, trust and follow your renewed passion in your love life and career. I feel like this will spark. It's almost like there's like a little bit of a stagnant feeling or a rut that you've been in. And I feel like this is going to spark newness in you, passion, you know. Now, sometimes passion can be fighting. So if you're going with your spouse or other people, that can for sure make everybody passionate, you know, so everybody gets a little passionate. But I feel like this is overall a very good thing, and it really, I feel, yeah, see, and you also get crystal children too. So pay attention, your crystal children. You have indigo and crystal children, I know from our conversations. Archangel Metatron, you have a bond with children. In particular, you can help children who are sensitive. So crystal children, indigo children, HSP children, highly sensitive people children, who are sensitive, need love and guidance, but it has to be gentle. So while we're very passionate, remember Mercury and Leo, passionate, you know, you have to slow down and be a little bit more gentle with HSPs, because even though HSPs look, we can dish it, but sometimes it's hard because we can't take it. So HSPs, you have to kind of handle firmly with good boundaries, but also gently. And that's really an art form. I think that's hard to do, you know, because it's like, you know, you want to, but I do think overall this is going to be very good. In fact, this could even initiate a new passion for you. This could initiate a new thing like travel blogging, or a YouTube channel of your own, or some kind of a thing where, you know, this could become a new thing. Oh my God, you're going with your spouse, your kids, and your dogs. Oh my gosh, dogs plural. We all pray for you, Sarah. We all pray for you. Hitting the road with everybody in the one thing, right? So anyway, I hope that helps. Now I'm going to pull a card that we need to know for everybody. What do we need to know in order to fulfill, you know, what we need to know about this coming week? What do our spirit guides, guardian angels need us to know about the full moon, the quincunxes, Neptune, the opposition between Mercury and the Sun and Pluto, Venus going into Cancer, Mercury going into Leo. It's all, I mean, that's a lot in 1 week. I told you, a lot. What do we need to know about all that? What will help us to safely navigate this? What do we need to know? Just when I say, you know, I channel the information from, and whether that comes from astrology, whether that comes from intuition, wherever, doesn't matter. It's all the same information. It comes from source energy, and it says outdoors, go outdoors, get outside, get into the earth, get into the ground. I know that my lighting is so weird and we can't see this card as well, but get into the outdoors. I'm going to read this to you. Archangel Jophiel. Go outside, get some fresh air, connect with nature to relieve stress and to gain a new and creative idea or perspective, okay? Get outside, get grounded. Remember, we were thinking about being grounded, having our feet on the earth. You know, I've been telling every HSP that's in my practice this week, and how do you know you're an HSP? You're an empath, you're a clairvoyant. You have feelings about things, you just know things, you're very sensitive. You might be sensitive feeling wise, but you might be sensitive to food, medication, environmental stuff, people. HSPs, you know, we're our own special breed. And so, this is about getting outside and getting your feet in the earth, getting your feet in the ground, putting your feet in the sand, the soil. I mean, obviously you want to stay away from glass and nails and rust and all that stuff, especially with all these weird planetary things going on. But you want to be in the yard, you know, get your feet in the earth and the soil, hug a tree. All that stuff is really good. And I know it sounds cliche. Go for a hike, garden, go for a swim. Do something where you can discharge the energy. HSPs and everybody, but especially HSPs, discharge through our feet. So get your feet touching the earth, okay? And that can help you to discharge some of this extra stuff, because HSPs become busy during all this planetary stuff. I always say HSPs, and I always use my selenite wand as an example. HSPs are like grounding rods for energy. The energy comes through and then down. If you're not clear and you're mucked up and you have inner pollution and stuff, it's going to hold on to some of that energy, and you're going to feel stressed, you're going to feel upset, you're going to get migraine headaches, you're going to do all kinds of different things. So you want your energy to be nice, clean, and clear, and just allow it to move through. You don't have to process it. You don't have to process it for anybody. You're like a grounding rod. You're a vessel. Boom. It just goes straight through down into the ground. If you take it and hold it and process it, try to process, like I have a lot of HSPs in my practice that they try to process someone else's grief, or they try to process someone else's problems, or they say, well, this person feels this way and I feel so bad for them. Okay, that's lovely. That means you're a nice person. But you can't process stuff for them. What you can do is just feel the energy, and then you don't hold on to the energy, because you're actually not doing anything for the person. Just have it move through, and have your vessel, meaning your body and your psyche and your energy and your aura, clean and clear, and then just let that energy just pass through easily. And one of the way to do that and to dump it is to get outside and get your feet in the ground. That's why wintertime is hard for a lot of people. Yeah, you could say it's dark and it's cold and blah, blah, blah. But it's also hard because you can't get your feet into the earth. What I like to do in the winter is I'll go to my local garden nursery, and I'll get in there and be with the plants and the earth and feel that energy from them, and that's what helps me to dump, you know, some of the energy. And the earth is well equipped for this. The earth is the rock and the soil and the sand and all that stuff is well equipped to deal with this energy. It's fine to do it. That's why HSPs are here. One of the reasons is, and light workers are, you know, if you're a healer, if you're a light worker, if you're somebody that does that, you're here to do that. That's what you're here to do. But don't hold it. Dump it out. So I hope that helps. Get outside, get your feet in the ground. See the lovely things, and I hope that I had to tell you guys about this because it was such big news. But I hope that helps everybody. Make sure that you subscribe to my YouTube channel, or subscribe or follow to my pages here on Facebook and on Instagram, because I do plan on coming back a little bit more regularly. As you know, I had an accident last fall, and it kind of broke me out of what I was doing. So, and if you want a personalized astrological session, feel free to send me a text message or send me a private message, and go ahead and we can go ahead and schedule. All right, everybody. Happy full moon. Happy all this other stuff, Pluto and blessings and everything else. And I will see you guys on the other side. Bye.